Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good morning, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. You may think of cider as a perfect fall drink, but starting next month, you're actually going to start thinking about it as a perfect year-round drink. Cider Week GR is back for another year, starting on May 10th, and allows you to celebrate all things cider for 9 glorious days. And now we are being joined by Paula Englund. She is the Executive Director of the Michigan Cider Association. She's here to talk all about Cider Week. Paula, thank you so much for being here today. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to share with the audience all of the exciting things we have coming up next month.
Yeah, no, we're going to get into all of it. Again, Cider Week runs from May 10th to May 18th, so a little bit longer than a week, Paula. But before we get into all the good stuff that's happening throughout those 9 days, I mean, talk to us about how excited you are as somebody who's a part of the planning process for Cider Week to come back.
Absolutely, Phil. So I've been a cider enthusiast for a long time. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that Michigan grows some of the best apples in the world. And so, as you can imagine, there are wonderful ciders that are made throughout our state. So obviously the pandemic took its toll on all businesses and different large gatherings. And so we're just delighted to have the opportunity to celebrate the amazing growth here in Grand Rapids and some of the local producers that are making an amazing array of ciders.
Oh, absolutely. And Paula, you know, as somebody who is a cider enthusiast as well, you know, I know why I think cider deserves its week-long celebration. But for some people that, you know, maybe haven't had one or maybe aren't used to drinking it maybe throughout the year and they kind of reserve it for maybe that fall time sort of apple picking kind of weather. I mean, talk about why Cider Week is such an important part, not only here in Michigan, but really across the country, that it deserves its own week to be celebrated.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think cider is one of those beverage categories that's a little bit misunderstood. Is it beer? Is it seltzer? Is it wine? Is it spirits? And the answer is, well, yeah, it can definitely go toe to toe with all of those beverage categories. And one of the wonderful things we have the opportunity to enjoy here in Michigan is a lot of producers that do make wines and ciders and beers and spirits. But the beauty of Michigan hard cider is that there's just a broad spectrum. So if you really kind of have a sweet tooth, there's some really delicious fruit flavored ciders that are going to be right up your alley. For some folks that sort of came up through the craft beer movement, but maybe as we've gotten older, it doesn't sit as well with our systems. There's awesome hopped ciders that are made here locally that are going to drink a lot like an IPA. And then it's been really delightful to see more producers making these gorgeous single varietal ciders that rival some of the best wines in the world. So truly a broad spectrum that appeals to all sorts of tastes. There's imperial ciders, there's NA ciders that are delicious. So it's just really awesome to be able to celebrate that here. And Grand Rapids is really fortunate because we have the Fruit Ridge area that grows some of the best apples in the country.
Yeah, no, and Paula, you know, all of these different cideries and all of their different sort of products and different types of ciders, as you mentioned, are all going to be celebrated throughout Cider Week GR that kicks off again on May 10th. I do want to remind everybody that if you'd like to know a little bit more information on the celebration, well, you can find it all right now on our website, woodtv.com. But shifting over now, Paula, one of the big draws to this week-long celebration is, of course, all the festivities, the big events that you guys are hosting. There's 2 really big ones I wanted to highlight. The first one kind of ends everything on May 18th. It is, of course, the Michigan Cider Festival down at Rosa Parks Circle. What are some of the things that people who show up to that can kind of expect to see?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest draws to that event is just the ability to be able to try different Michigan ciders from all over the state. So a lot of people don't know this, but Michigan has the most hard cider producers of any other state in the country. So I like to call us the Great Cider State. So that means that in every single corner of our beautiful state here, there are people making fantastic hard ciders. And so one of the best things about this festival at Rosa Parks is the ability to try stuff, sure, from Grand Rapids, but also from the UP or the Metro Detroit area, and see how those different communities have influenced the types of cider that are being made. In addition, we're going to have some awesome local food trucks on site for people to purchase delicious food from, some great local music, and some yard games. It's just going to be a delightful time to enjoy some gorgeous May weather right downtown. The perfect complement before you head out to dinner downtown, or we also have folks that will be coming from an orchard bloom tour that morning, which is also available to the public. So you can go learn about how our apples are grown and cider is made, and then come and taste dozens and dozens of awesome options.
Yeah, no, definitely something for everybody. And then there's also a competition aspect during the week as well. It kicks off at DeVos Place on May 15th through May 17th. It's called GLITCHCAP. Paula, tell us a little bit about what GLITCHCAP stands for and what's going to be happening down at DeVos Place during that period.
Absolutely. So the Michigan Cider Association has this wonderful sort of blessing of being able to run the world's largest cider competition, which is GLITCHCAP, which stands for Great Lakes International Cider and Perry Competition. It's kind of a long name. But we have folks literally from every corner of the world sending in their ciders and perries to be judged by cider experts. This year, we're also really excited to welcome in a number of guest judges. They're sort of the best in the industry from countries like Japan, England, Germany, Spain, Chile, Canada. And so it's just truly a celebration of all of the cultures of hard cider making and a wonderful opportunity for folks that are looking to learn more. We still have some volunteer shifts available for folks that might be interested, but it is a chance for cider makers, both home cider makers and commercial cider makers, to have their products reviewed by experts and the opportunity to win some coveted wonderful awards and medals.
You know, it'll be very interesting to see how all these different ciders do stack up against each other. Again, that's happening at DeVos Place from May 15th to May 17th. And on top of all these other festivities and the chances for people to also try out these different cideries, all these different products around Cider Week GR, well, there's also going to be a lot of giveaways that people can check out, courtesy of Experience Grand Rapids. We've got more information on that over on our website as well, woodtv.com. Paula, before we let you go, we really do appreciate you stopping by, but as somebody who's helping put on this entire week-long celebration of ciders and everything people can kind of need to know about ciders in general, I mean, what is really your hope for this week? What do you hope that the people that show up get out of it? What do you hope that the cideries get out of it? What do you hope that you over at the Michigan Cider Association get out of Cider Week GR?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a wonderful time that we can sort of come together and collaborate, which I think is so much about what West Michigan and the cider industry embody. So really, we're going to be having opportunities to learn more about cider and cider making and the different types of apples that are grown here, which highlights the hard work of our farming community in this area. Then we're also, of course, going to be featuring our cider makers that shows their dedication and craft in this industry. And then so many restaurant and business partners that are welcoming people in to try cider cocktails, to see how cider pairs beautifully with cheeses and fine cuisine, and board games even. So there's going to be all sorts of good opportunities to enjoy one of the most delicious local beverages you can at some great local establishments.
And we're definitely very excited for it. Again, everyone, that Cider Week GR 2024 kicks off on May 10th and goes until May 18th. There's going to be big time festivals, lots of giveaways, tons of stuff for people to really enjoy. And again, we have all the information you need to know right now over on our website,